So what does it take to get your teenager to have the common decency to take a shower every once in a while? Or, for that matter, brush his teeth? Well, we're talking about that today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families live happier lives. I lead two organizations, Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization, Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California. Every Wednesday at noon, I jump onto Facebook Live to answer your parenting questions. Let's jump into today's. My son is on the autism spectrum, so I've always assumed that an aversion to hygiene and lack of manners were just part of a struggle. But I hear from moms of typical children that they also have this issue. While it's kind of a relief to know that this may just be a typical teen behavior, I'd like to know an effective approach to deal with it. My parents shamed me into acting a certain way and bathing every day, but I don't want to do that to my kid. I agree. I don't think shaming is a very effective parenting tool. We've all fallen into it, and it's never felt good. We never walked away going, wow, that felt great. I shamed my child. It's kind of an awful feeling for everyone. So there's two parts to this. I understand why you want your kid to bathe, brush his teeth, put on deodorant. That's pretty common. And I agree, kids who are on the autism spectrum, as opposed to neurotypical children, are going to respond differently to this. Most neurotypical kids, it's going to happen all on its own. They're going to be somewhere with friends. If they're somewhat social, they're going to be somewhere with friends. They're going to want to ask a girl out or be asked out by a boy or something like that. And it's going to dawn on them, wow, if I'm stinky, no one's going to want to hang out with me. And it's going to take care of it all of itself. If your kid is not social, if your kid is just hidden away in the room, all day long, or if your kid is on the autism spectrum, they're going to have a harder time understanding the need for a shower. For example, during quarantine, when everyone was locked down, like in 2019 and part of 2020, if many of you watching here were locked in your house for weeks at a time, how good were your hygiene habits? Maybe not as much because you weren't seeing anyone. So hey, what does it matter if I'm a little stinky? But the modern demands of society do demand that we don't smell so badly and we are a little more fragrant. So I think with someone who's on the spectrum, who's not really going to understand it, or if your kid is locked in his room all day playing video games, you may have to impose some motivation for them to want to do this. So eventually they kind of build it on their own. Obviously, you want your kids to be out social. For the kids who are not being social, you need to find a way to cut off the screens a little bit, get them out, volunteering, joining clubs, getting a part-time job, joining the golf team. I don't care what it is, just do something. For someone who's on the spectrum who is social, they still may not really recognize the importance of it because it doesn't really matter to them. So having many conversations about this, making sure that they feel you understand their perspective, because if they feel you understand their perspective, they're more open to hearing your perspective. But again, you may still need to impose some kind of motivation on them. Say, hey, if you want to have access to your phone, you gotta have to have, before you get on your phone, you have to have brushed your teeth, you have to have taken a shower, put in your clothes, put your clothes in the hamper, whatever those things are. Again, all that takes, 20, 30 minutes tops? Again, if they're motivated. I know some of your kids take 3 hours to get all that done. I get it. Pick your battles, choose what you feel is appropriate. But the phone is a huge motivator for most teenagers. It doesn't have to be the phone. It could be the Xbox, could be the laptop, could be something screen related. Unless you're going screen free, which most of you are not, utilize the screen as a motivator to help channel that motivation to get a shower or brush your teeth. And eventually it becomes routine. But it's going to take a while for that routine to kind of take an effect. Again, if your kid is out in the world and is on the job, and they're working at the local yogurt shop, and their boss says, hey, when you come in tomorrow, you can't smell like this. Sometimes that's all they need, is someone else to say it, not you. Anyways, it could be a big topic. Everyone's going to approach it a little differently. Every kid's going to feel the need to have them directed differently. So figure out what's going to work for your kid. If you need help with this, you can always consult with a therapist who specializes in working with kids and teens, knows how to communicate with kids and teens, especially kids on the spectrum. Make sure you get the support you need. Anyways, that's our question for today. Again, my name is Kent Toussaint. If you'd like me to answer your question, email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com. Again, I represent Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit Child and Teen Counseling. And I'll see you next Wednesday at noon on Facebook Live. See you then, guys. Bye-bye.